Who better than me? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the casual stream. As always, please like and subscribe. Share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It is appreciated. I know that this was obviously usually supposed to happen on Wednesdays. I did put out the SOS to let the people know. Hopefully everyone did receive that. But yeah, today was purely gonna just yesterday I wanted to watch the football. Some other things was taking place. I had some other stuff I needed to do, so it was better just to kind of get it over with today, especially as we had press conference. I knew there may be some interesting stuff to talk about between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So yeah, as always, like and subscribe, as I said before. Thank you to everyone who is joining. I can see that the list is populating actually quite quickly, which I'm surprised of. As there's been no I haven't done any sort of promotion for this. It's kind of off the cuff, so those who know, those who didn't, I guess, have just found it. So I appreciate you guys. Let me see who's in the building thus far. All right, man, like Philip Ansel was #1 in the building. Shout out to you as always, Philip. Michael Januario, big up. Fury looks scared and annoyed about the Lineal title. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a moment. Reese Cooper, shout out to you each and every time, as always. DJ Bucci, Fury couldn't look at Usyk, shook energy. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Was it mind games? Was it, you know, to try and throw him off the scent, or was it I don't want to engage? You know, I don't want to give any energy to you right about now. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot that we can talk about. Al-Kuya, shout out to you. Fury looked nervous. He did look a bit on edge throughout most of the press conference. Man like you, man, are done for. Big up, aka heel are done for. So the heel turns in full effect now. Yeah, shout out to you. Philip Usyk's suit was better than Fury's. Agreed. I mean, yeah, he definitely came with the right fit for the job. And if you actually look at it, it's funny. His Usyk suit, I'm assuming it's like, you know, maybe some form of Ukrainian general's type outfit or whatever, or it's inspired by that. But if you look, it also looked a bit like a martial artist suit with the little gi. Like the belt looked like it was a gi. The way he was doing his stance, salutes and bowing in front of the people. So it definitely looks like there's some kind of commander, military combat inspired theme in that, and that could be very telling for the people. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting it's an interesting time, an interesting couple of days. I know a lot of people would have been thinking that, you know, are we going to get any last minute pullouts? I can't lie, if we get to the weigh-in tomorrow, nothing's going to stop this fight from taking place on Saturday. As long as that weigh-in happens and both guys weigh in, there's not going to be any issues. At this point in time, it seems as if both men are resigned to the fate of battling each other on Saturday. So I kind of want to get from you lot in the audience, anyone might be watching on the repeat, in the comments, I want to know who you think's going to win and how you think they're going to win. And if you guys would have seen, there was a basis picks video that went out yesterday for the undercard of that show and Navarrete and Berencek. The main portion will be out tomorrow, which will obviously give my predictions and thoughts on this fight and the Navarrete and Berencek fight as well. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go back to some of the previous ways of how I used to do the picks, where I give the background, I give the strengths and the weaknesses of both guys, and I talk about how I see the fight playing out, either round by round or in a generalistic sense, up to the final, up to how I see it ending. As you guys know, recently on Basis Picks, I ain't really been able to do that to the same degree because there's been so many cards, so many different fights. If I did that, we're talking at like hour and a half long videos, and I know that as much as you guys are rocking with me, that's a bit too much of a commitment, and I appreciate that and I understand that. I was contemplating about doing a live Basis Picks again for the fight tomorrow, but I did get a little bit of feedback before saying that apparently people weren't really feeling the live aspect of it. They prefer to see that just as a video, and they prefer the lives to be these more interactive things. So I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments if you disagree, if you would much rather see me do a live, you know, basis picks for the fight, or if you prefer the videos like some other people have said. But yeah, it's all on you guys at this point in time. It's your channel, I just facilitate it. That's how I look at it. All right, so let's get to some of these predictions. Okay, the Cali 1987 shout out Fury got a lot to say, but today he was the opposite. He didn't even answer back to the Lineal claim. Yeah, he did look a bit upset by that. Life of Bud, shout out to you. I don't read anything into Fury's psychology. Let's just see if Usyk can get it done. Fair shout. So Cali, Usyk by stoppage early. Okay, all right. Al-Kulia, Usyk will stop Fury inside 9 rounds. Sounds like my Crawford Spence take right there. All right, I hear you. Londoner in the stick, shout out to you. Big ups and thank you very much for joining. Michael Osborne, wow, I haven't seen your name in ages. Shout out to you, Michael. Usyk KO. All right. Heel, you man are done for. Fury will win by decision. I've seen some people say that. Philip answer, I'm going with Usyk with an 11th round TKO. Oh, okay. I think Philip might have been looking at the draft of basis picks, potentially, because I did say something about an 11th round in there. But all right, interesting. Michael January, or shout out to you. Usyk points, maybe late stoppage round 11 due to energy pressure on him. Okay, all right, okay. Heras 89 SSR, shout out. Usyk stoppage round 9. Okay. Londoner in the sticks. Is anyone from the boxing media gonna challenge Team Fury about not answering that question about how Fury become lineal champ? I mean, yeah, because the way how I understood it is that neither, obviously, Lennox Lewis was the last one. He retired as the lineal champ, and so there was no lineage. And then the lineage was supposed to be made between Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko, but because they never fought each other, there was no actual lineage to be held. But apparently, I did actually read something the other day which does say that Vladimir Klitschko did get crowned the lineal champion by beating, I can't remember who it was that he let me check, hold on, let me get the phone. I'm gonna double check that, because I remember someone sent it to me and made a big point about it. So while that's loading up, I'm gonna come back to that in a moment. Shout out to Hot Pies, big up to you. Usyk to get the W on points. Okay, James, big up James. Not going to hide, I want Usyk to win, but seeing Fury yesterday, he looks good. Okay, shout out. Lennox, mate, Usyk by late stoppage. Hot Pie slightly leaning towards Usyk. Philip, what draft? Yeah, I'll explain later. Oh, shout out Yasmin, shout out to you each and every time, always in the building. Appreciate it. Let me know as well who you think's gonna win, Yasmin, and how you think they're gonna go about it. All right, let me check this thing now. Lineal heavyweight champion list. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. Okay, so according to this now, I need to go back a bit further. Okay, so right, so after Lennox Lewis retired, Vitaly Klitschko beat Corey Sanders for the vacant ring belt. At the time, Vitaly was rated number 1 with the Ring and Boxing Monthly. However, Sanders was 3 with Ring and was not in the top 5, so he couldn't take the Lineal there. Ultimately, the consensus was that this fight was not considered to be Lineal championship fight, as Chris Bird, not Corey Sanders, was the clear number 2, and Vitaly had lost to Bird previously. So for 5 years, a Bird-Klitschko fight would have crowned the true champion of the division. 5 years later, Sports Illustrated, Boxing Scene, and ESPN all firmly recognized Vladimir's victory over Ruslan Chaglayev as the fight that filled the Lineal vacancy. So in 2009, Klitschko defeated Chagayev by 9th round TKO to fill that. So they said that Vladimir was rated number 1, and they had Chagayev, who was rated as number 2. He was rated by 2 in Monthly, and Chagayev was rated 3 with both of the publications. Vladimir is the Ring's number 1 heavyweight. And yeah, so Vitaly was number 2, but as he couldn't fight his brother, they allowed it to be for number 1 and number 3. I think that's the reason why they said Vladimir ended up getting the Lineal status. So yeah, I did read that somewhere, but Krasiuk does make, Klima, he makes a good point, because obviously he never beat the man to be the man ultimately. So can you truly claim that Lineal? But maybe they said that just to annoy him. Who knows? So I guess I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's check out some more of these. Yasmin, I think they might rob Usyk. But yeah, Usyk on points. That's the prediction. Philip, another reason why Usyk beats Fury is because he's a Capricorn. The energy's strong. I think Philip knows. Philip understands. He understands the game. He understands the mindset. But yeah, all right. So I guess let's talk about this. So I wasn't able to watch the entire press conference. I was actually traveling back from back on ends from offense. So I was listening to a lot of it more than anything else. But I did manage to see obviously Sergey Kovalev and his opponent, whose name is now escapes me. But I saw them. I saw Isaac Lowe. I saw Joshua Wahab. I saw Mark Chamberlain. I can see a couple of upsets happening on this card. But when I say upsets, I'm talking more so in the undercards, where those people have got like what we would deem to be knockover jobs. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I can't lie. I think that the guy that Isaac Lowe's fighting, again, name I can't remember off the top of my head, but I actually think that he's going to beat Isaac Lowe. I think Kovalev will get a points decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if obviously this young up and comer has something for him. But I'm predicting that Kovalev gets the. I'm predicting that he gets the victory there, just due to ringcraft, the same way as how we beat Tervel Pulev when they fought each other back on Triller in 2022. I think it's going to be the same way that he ends up winning this fight. Who else was there? That Joshua Wahab guy. I've seen a bit of his fights before. He's actually very action-packed. The only problem is he's a naturally smaller guy. I think he was naturally campaigning at 126, or floating between 126 and 130. So now moving up to 135. Yeah, he's not gonna have to drain himself to make weight, but he's gonna be the visibly smaller guy in the ring. So that's going to be interesting, especially considering that Mark Chamberlain is quite a big puncher, especially as he's now sort of almost grown into his strength. So look, it's that whole first half of the card is going to be interesting. Michael January or Fury coming in light of his playing into Usyk's hands. Never been a big puncher. He ain't a better boxer, feet movement or speed. His chance was to be Wilder 2 weight, use weight to zap Usyk's energy. Yeah, I hear that. He ain't fighting Klitschko, who is slow and predictable. Okay, James, not sure about Crusher base, breathing so heavy after that 1 minute public workout. But you know what? Here's what I'll say, because I actually didn't watch the public workouts yesterday. Again, I was busy doing some other stuff. But what I will say is there's some people, Kovalev's one of them, but it's the same as I say about Erica Cruz. Some of them people, they be breathing mad heavy. It look like they're dying in between rounds, but then when they get up off the stool, they find a way to basically, they have energy again for the next 3 minutes. Derek Chisora is another one. Many times you'll see him in the corner looking like he's about to pass out just through exhaustion. But as soon as he gets up off the stool, 3 minutes of non-stop action just on you, and you can't get away. So I hear that, but you know, I think that the boxing skills I think is gonna take over. But I guess we'll find out. Shout out to Tim Townsend. Fury is scared shitless. He can't run now. I mean, yeah, life for Budge. I just think Fury will survive a scare and box his way to a draw with some favourable refereeing. I mean, that I could see that happening as well, to be fair. Philip, should Usyk target Fury's eye more, seeing as someone in his team said that cut will open up again? I mean, he should definitely be targeting the eye, but what he needs to do before he starts going for the eye is he needs to invest some work to that body. Like, Fury's not going to really be able to dip down and really dig in those body shots the way he does with some other people, not with any real power on them anyway. So Usyk's going to have to use that as his opportunities to really sort of dig to the body, just to make Fury want to dip and try and roll and weave underneath, so that he can then start finding targets and raining those shots up top to target both eyes. Obviously the previous one from the Valine fight and this new fresh injury, but definitely I think the eye will be a source of motivation. But yeah, good times, very interesting stuff. While I've got you guys here, what did you think of the exchange, the interesting exchange between Maris Bradis and Jai Alphatile? What did you guys think? Did Bradis seem confident? Did he seem like he's ready to right a wrong? Or did Jai seem like this is going to be a lot easier than the first time around? Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Shout out to Spells, new to the channel, or new to the comments, I should say. You might have been watching before, but shout out to you. Thank you very much for being in attendance. Tim Townsend, Usyk will definitely work to the body first, and I just see him hitting Fury with a big left hand. And yeah, I can see that. James, I like watching Cordina fight, especially when he's switched on. I mean, he's going to have to be switched on, because all of his big money fight, I mean, this is a big money fight, but all of his big money fights, his glamour division fights, his building the legacy and building the cash and the bank balance fights are all happening after this. So he's got to come into this one. He's got to end this one in great fashion in order to be called back for the next card. Shout out to Emma Willis. Been a little while since I've seen you about. Fury does have good IQ. He knows how to win a fight. Not sure on how he'll approach the fight. Maybe the weight loss is a diversion. Maybe. Oh, Emma with the insider gossip. Apparently Bradis' shoulder isn't 100%. Oh, I mean, I predicted Jai to win on points, like a much clearer points decision than last time. Purely because I feel like he won't allow himself to get caught in certain exchanges like he did in the last one, and he won't give Bradis a time to get back into the fight. But also, Bradis is such a strong guy. I can't see him being prepared to basically lose via stoppage. I feel like his goal will be, if he can't win, he's got to go the distance. He's got to prove that you can't take me out. Again, it's a bit of that Capricorn energy, and he's another one that I normally trust to do the job. So it's interesting. Even if Jai wins in convincing fashion, it's still going to be a hard fight. And I just think that mentally he may go back to that time and place where the double jaw break happened, and he says to himself, I'm not even going to put myself in a position where you can do that to me again. So I'm going to keep it at range. I'm going to keep it in the mid range. I'm going to use my speed, and I'm going to stay away from you until I see you slowing down, until I see that my work has started to take effect. Then I'm going to go for the kill. But by doing that, I maybe keeps Bradus in the fight longer, and then he's able to survive sort of the back half. That's my opinion, but obviously I can understand if other people feel differently. Philip, I thought Apatow was going to start trash talking because he said in a short that he's lost all the respect for Bradus. Yeah, actually, when he actually corrected that the other day, he did say that he had lost respect for him before, but it was basically they caught him. It was right after the IBF thing, and he was upset about it. But he spoke to Boxing News a couple of days ago and basically said, "Yeah, look, they just caught me at a it was a bit of an emotional moment. I've got nothing but respect for him, and it's because I've got respect for him that he's gonna get the best version of me in the ring on the night." So yeah, so it's not the same as it was from that short. Tim, Jai is hungry. Big up, base. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Tim. Funny enough, right at the end of this, before I close off this stream, don't worry, it's not going to happen just yet, but I do have a bit of an announcement to make. So I'm going to come back to this particular message from Tim, but shout out to you. Thank you. James, Jai looks more confident. He's just on business. KO for me. Okay. Don't forget Usyk's body is softer than vegan cupcakes. Fury will work on that too. Well, again, as I said, Fury doesn't work the body the same way, and if Usyk's hunkered down, remember, if he's 6'3" and he hunkers himself down to closer to like 6'1", 6 foot when he's sort of entering in, Fury's going to have a hard time actually getting to the body unless he dips down as well. And if he dips down, that leaves him vulnerable and potentially off balance, trying to hit those shots. It's not the same as obviously having a 6'7" Deontay Wilder who fights upright like he's 6'7". So yeah, dynamic would be a little bit different. Shout out to Chris C. I can't see Usyk beating Tyson. Usyk isn't a natural heavyweight, and Usyk will have to move inside to hit Fury, and at some point Fury will catch him while he is moving inside and possibly KO him. Bold shout, Chris. And also, if Dubois can catch him, then Fury definitely can. Yeah, but Dubois is actually much quicker than Tyson Fury, and Dubois shorter. So Dubois doesn't have the same level change that Fury's going to have in order to, hit that target or to catch Usyk. And if you remember, Dubois never caught Usyk in any exchanges. The one moment he did catch him with the low blow was Usyk was obviously, he was compromised from the fact there was the ring canvas was slippery. Both him and Dubois were moving slower than what they would normally do. So when here, I'm going to assume that canvas, they're probably going to have to swap it out after a while if it's going to be as hot in Saudi as most people are believing. But that shouldn't be the same issue with this one. But yeah, remember, that was the only time that Dubois caught him, and it was, deemed a low shot. So outside of that, it was a pretty dominant performance. But as I said, Tyson Fury isn't as quick as Daniel Dubois. So I guess we have to wait and see. Londoner in the sticks. I think Apatow stops Breeders this time round. I think the inactivity and pissing about chasing Jake Paul for all time will go against him, and I think Apatow will get him. Fair enough. According to Michael Benson, apparently Usyk's team is complaining about the canvas for the Fury fight. Yeah, they have an issue apparently with the way it's been stitched. They believe that the stitching, which is normally like less than a millimeter thick, I think it's protruded out a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than that. Maybe it might be 2 millimeters or something, and they believe it might be a trip hazard. Which obviously is gonna hamper the guy that wants to be moving around if he's got to worry about tripping over his feet, or potentially if he's trying to move one way, gets touched with something, and then his foot ends up going over a bit of a ridge on the canvas and he falls over. So yeah, I think they're looking to get it changed or get it repaired, but we'll have to wait and see. Emma Willis, Usyk for the win. This is for the sake of world peace. Shout out Emma. Alcuya, Chris C. Fury boxes nothing like Dubois, nothing like Dubious, sorry. Nor does he hit as hard as Dubious. Okay, there you go. Philip, even if Fury wins, he's still a fraud. Him. You know what? If he wins, I won't call him a fraud. I will say that he's still got a lot more work to do, and I will say he's still ducked a lot of challenges in his, and he's still got some work to do in order to get his name to where he thinks it should be. But if he beats a guy that's as talented as Usyk, who most people do believe is like, one of the greatest in the world right now, we can't really give him the fraud. If he beats Klitschko and he beats Usyk, I think we can officially take fraud away from him. But con artist, Jinal, like charlatan, all of those names can stick. Spells, Usyk on points with a couple knockdowns on Fury. Okay. Chris C. Fury only has to time it right once. Usyk is a smaller man, doesn't have the reach, and isn't a heavyweight. Fury will lean all over him when he has to and use his reach advantage. Well, again, I don't think that Fury is going to be able to employ the holding tactics and the leaning tactics that he likes to. I don't think Usyk's going to be there for it. And again, as I keep saying, Usyk's got a background in certain disciplines of martial arts which prevent people from being able to lean their weight on you like that. And who knows, he might, if any time Fury tries to lean on him, he might just go down and take a knee. The same as Michael Hunter did against Alexander Ustinov when he tried to do it when they fought in Monte Carlo. So, I hear that though. Having said that, but when you say Fury only has to time it right once, well, Usyk took hard shots from Anthony Joshua when he was timed coming in, and he took them quite well. No wobbling, no sort of stumbling about, and he showed that he's got a good chin and good survival instincts. So I think when you say he's only got to time it right once, I think he might have to time it right on multiple occasions when he don't hit as hard as those people. I think Usyk can drop him. Not enough people are talking about Fury's chin. I mean, that's a valid comment. Michael Januario, want to see Hearn versus Ryan Garcia street fight. Hearn was looking serious. Yeah, that was funny. Obviously, Ryan. Yeah, I remember Hearn was like, you might definitely get the shot first, but if it don't stop me, then we'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, I mean, look, Ryan needs to simmer down at the minute, or he needs to change tactic, because the man did a baptism the other day, but he's still coming out talking certain nonsense. It's crazy. It's very crazy. But you know what? It is what it is. Alcuya, Chrissy, if Cunningham can drop Fury, then Usyk can drop and stop Fury. Okay. Shout out to Von. Tired of the talk. Ready for the fight. Shout out. And pretty much that's kind of what Usyk said as well. He said, "Let your fist do your talking in the ring on Saturday." At the end of it, so. I hear that. Chris C. Dubois is flat-footed, doesn't move like Fury, and still dropped Usyk in controversial style. At some point, Usyk will get caught. He is 37 and moving up in weight. He will get tired. Okay. I mean, we say about Fury moving, but Fury ain't really moved since... He actually hasn't moved since Wilder 1, if we're being like... We're really drilling down. And funny enough, right, if you look at Fury now and people talk about the movement, he's actually reminding me, and don't kill me for this comment. Let me land the comment before you guys, kill me in the actual comment section. But he's actually moving a little bit like Muhammad Ali after the prison sentence, after the first Joe Frazier fight. Because if you remember, Ali kept trying to get up on his toes, but he couldn't sustain it. He could only maybe do it for like a round, and then he had to, then he was back to sort of being flat-footed. So that's when he ended up getting caught a lot more than he used to. Hence why when it came to Foreman, rather than trying to be on the toes, he just employed that rope-a-dope and just worked on being able to take damage and, chip away at his opponent while his opponent is basically, trying to beat him up, because the legs just weren't there anymore and he could only do it in spurts. And that could be the very same thing with Tyson Fury. They might be trying to think, okay, he can move up and down and get on his toes and whatnot, but he might only be able to do that for a round, maybe a round and a half, and then after that, like, he just becomes heavy-legged. And if he's had to work at a big pace, like that, that breath, that energy reserve, he could end up being all fatigued. It could be a very, very interesting scenario. So I'm here for it. I'm here to see how it all plays out. Shout out to Ilukan. If Fury wins, his nonsense will ramp up times 100%. But to be fair, it will be allowed to, because obviously he's had to go through quite a bit in the lead up to this, so it should only be right that he gets to say his piece and whatnot. But yeah, I obviously won't be watching anything of his moving forward if that isn't the case. James, what did you make of the face-off? Fury didn't want to look at Usyk at all. Yeah, I feel like it was a mental thing, not in terms of mind games, but it's like, okay, I've devoted a lot of energy to this. There's a lot of bad energy around me and this guy anyway, and I don't want him to potentially be able to take something from me in this face-off. No doubt he will look at it. They will have the weigh-in tomorrow. He will definitely end up doing a face-off tomorrow. But in this moment, I feel like he feels that it wasn't the right time to do that exchange of energy transfer. So yeah, that could be a part of intimidation. It could be preservation. He might just be preserving himself for the big stare down that he's going to have to do tomorrow, obviously leading into the big fight on Saturday. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'll call you responding to Chris C. Usyk will get tired, but so will Fury. You're talking as if Fury has a great engine. Oh, okay. I mean, it's a good point. Chris comes back. We all know Fury has a decent chin. Usyk isn't unbeatable. Beterbiev beat him in the amateurs. He is 37, putting on weight and fighting in hot weather. He get caught late in the fight. Okay. Don't forget though, Usyk beat Beterbiev twice in the amateurs as well, so he's actually winning that exchange. And obviously we're talking about amateur contests, 350 fights, 335 wins, 15 losses, won everything there is to win as an amateur. So he doesn't know how to lose often. Fidel Tawaldi, shout out to you. Ryan saying that about Fury is perfect. 2 hype jobs waiting to get exposed. Well, technically, Ryan's already been exposed, isn't it, by Tank Davis, or is that one allowed according to the people? Emma, Chris fighting for his life in the chat. Right? Shout out, respect to Chris, innit? Oh, shout out to Mullah, man like KM. Big ups to you, Mullah. And yes, he says big up to everyone in the chat. Okay, let's see. Chrissy and Ngannou, a novice, beat Fury. They are fighting exactly the same weather. Oh, okay. Emma, you only want Usyk to win because you don't like Fury, but think logically. Fury has all the advantages going into this fight. Usyk is a very good boxer, but he will be exposed Saturday. Well, he doesn't have all the advantages. Usyk has the speed advantage. He has the agility advantage. He probably has the ring craft advantage. He has more championship experience than Tyson Fury does. So the only advantages that Fury has is the height and the reach. Everything else, Usyk actually beats him in terms of, like, if you want to talk about just advantages so I can't co-sign that comment there, but I hear you. Okay. Emma, you put money on the fight, Chris. Oh, okay, here we go. Philip answer, another reason why Usyk beats Fury is because David Haye for some reason is picking Fury. No, David Haye's actually picking the majority decision draw. I saw he did an IFL video earlier, and I think Boxing Social, he said he saw a vision that it's going to be a majority decision draw. So yeah. Tim Townsend, Fury didn't move versus Wilder or White or Derek. He can't move as he used to, and he's never fought anyone as quick as Usyk. Yeah, I mean, even Cunningham wasn't as quick as Usyk, and Cunningham was still quick enough for Fury. So, I mean, yeah. Can't discount what Chris C is saying though. You never know. He might know something that the rest of us don't know. Maybe he might be a plant here to tell us the info without telling us the info. So I'm keeping an eye on you, Chris. Michael Januario, Fury ain't got power. If he's coming in light, he lived off the Wilder fight, but we will never know how good he really was due to his record. Okay, hear that? I'll call you. That has probably given Fury the kick up the arse he needed to prepare for this fight. That's in relation to Ngannou, Chrissy, Emma Willis. Okay, I will put 15k on it. Chris, if you've got 15k to put on the fight, I'll tell you what. I'll put my cash app out on the screen right now, and you can send that 15k right there. You see that cash app, the pound sign with Base the Kid right there. That's where you need to put that money if you've got that kind of money to bet on boxing. Let's see, where are we? Fury doesn't need to move. Usyk will be the one working on the inside. Shout out to did I miss your pick for Saturday? No, I've done the undercard. That video is out on the channel. Basis picks for the undercard. The main card will be I'll do the picks. Sorry, not the main card. The main events. That video will be out tomorrow, either the afternoon or the early evening. So no, you haven't missed that. Chrissy, but never in the heavyweight division. Okay. How will we do this? Not with me, Chris, with your bookie. Frank Sanchez for the win. Yeah, I predicted Frank to win on points. I think that he'll do enough early, and then he'll force Adric Caballo to maybe sort of be more of the aggressor and use that as a way to try and counter punch, and then see out the rounds late. So I do see it going to points. But yeah, I see Sanchez winning the points decision. A fairly close one, like a 115, 113, maybe 116, 112, somewhere around there. Potentially even getting a draw card, like a 114, 114 card. But yeah, I do see Sanchez getting the decision. Michael, Fury was sweating a lot off that media workout. Maybe he lost too much weight too quick for his height. That's what a lot of people have been saying. We'll have to wait and see. Bob's, Chris fighting the fight of his life in the chat for real. Shout out to Bob's. Chris C. You, man, you're right. Usyk is the one that needs to do all the moving. He needs to move it inside to hit Fury. Fury can use his jab. Fury will jab and lean. Usyk will get tired and get caught. I'll name this account later. Whatever David Hayes picking, pick the opposite. Well, he picked a majority decision draw. So that means that we're going to get a unanimous decision win. But we just don't know for who. Fury DQ if he's losing. Shout out to Dr. Woodop. I mean, potentially. You never know. Like, crisis management. Maybe it's better to get disqualified than to get knocked out or to lose on points. If that's the mentality. Who knows? Maybe. Fury has size, reach, length, and possibly power advantages. Well, size and reach and length, yes. Power, maybe. Yeah, I'll definitely give you 3 out of the 4. Don't know if I can say for power, but you never know. I mean, I heard that from Hatman. He said David is picking Fury. Yeah, well, David did interviews earlier on today. Definitely saying that he sees it being a draw. So I'll call you. Fury's legs are gone. Years of yo-yo dieting have finally taken their toll, similar to what happened to Ricky Hatton. I think that is true. I don't think he's going to be up on his toes moving about as much as people think he will, because he lost all his weight. Fury will run into an overhand left, right hook when he tries to lean on him. Interesting. Chris C. Usyk is the one that has to do all the moving. Fury will jab, lean. Usyk is the one that has to work. Trust me, Usyk will get tired later in the fight, and that's when Fury will get him. Okay. Shout out, man, like Star Fox WR45E. Voila. As some who's been brought up and down in weight over the years, I can say Fury trimming as much as he has will affect him. Oh, as someone who's been up and down in weight. Okay, yeah, I get you. I mean, I've never been up and down like majorly, but yeah, I've sort of been up and down before, and sometimes that power doesn't feel the same. The strength ain't quite there when you make that quick cut. I used to do it for holidays all the time, like dropping like a stone, or between a stone and 20 pounds sometimes, and it's like, yeah, you definitely feel the difference. Based on Hayes' prediction, I'm going double KO. Chrissy, I'm writing down everyone's names in the chat. I'll make sure they give us our flowers when Fury wins. Yeah, we'll do that. And then the next, I will do, I think we're going to have a boxing debate show, me, October Red, Danny Glover, and Maestro on the Sunday. And after that, I will happily do weekend wrap, and then I will come live again. And all of you guys can definitely come back to the channel if you really need to. Jam Down 187, shout out to you, manners and respect each and every time. Okay, you man with the name change. Yeah, I told you, he's on his WWE thing right now. He's letting the people know that he's not babyface anymore. He's not even a tweener, straight heel. Jam Down, I do enjoy listening to people's boxing predictions. It does make me wonder what they see when they're watching boxing. Yeah, I get that feeling sometimes. I think Ryan is picking Fury because he's a drug cheat as well. Oh, shout out to Philip. Star Fox, the boxing community hates everyone who backs Fury, so I'm embracing it. Usyk to drop Fury and win by unanimous decision. Okay. Usyk needs to look out for the elbow. Fury will try to take something out of the Pandora playbook. Yeah, okay. Shushan Boxing, shout out to you. What's going on? When are we next doing the round table together? Let me know. But yeah, shout out, big ups. Okay. So yeah, I guess I wanted to kind of give my initial thoughts on that. If there's anything else, so what we're gonna do, we'll go for another 15 minutes or so. Actually, do you know what? Because I kind of is interested in how we did this last time. So I'm gonna put a link in the chat for the next 15 to 20 minutes. If anyone wants to come on and say anything, feel free. I'll pause the music. You can have an unfiltered opinion. Try to keep any vulgarity to a minimum, please. Certain trigger words on the algorithm I'd appreciate if you didn't use, but if you have to express yourself, then go for it. As James just read something silly from Tank. He says that people go into Saudi because they can't sell in the US. Whatever they sell in Saudi, he makes in the US, so he's not going. Yeah, I saw when Tank said that. Tank's a donut. But Tank's just being Tank at this point. I think he's bored because he's in training camp and can't do anything apart from go to training and then go home. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think Usyk is an incredible boxer, but he's 37, has put on weight and fighting in very hot weather. He moves so much, and if he doesn't hurt Fury early, then Usyk will slow down and he'll get caught late. But let's not forget, Usyk's fought in Saudi already. Remember, he fought in Saudi in August of 2020, what was it, 2022 against Anthony Joshua. So he knows what it's like to fight in that hot climate. He's been there before and he's done it before. And also, again, like we say that, like Tyson Fury isn't 35 with a bunch of yo-yoing and, he's now stripped off even more weight than he had before. So who's to say that he won't have to move? Because I don't think he's just going to be able to pin Usyk down. It's going to be give and take on both sides. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if I fully agree with that angle. But fair enough. By the way, the Cash App is still waiting for that 15k. Just letting you know. Star Fox leaning into it like a John Fury headbutt. Oh, I like it. I like the double meaning on that one. Shout out to MT. Weight predictions. Well, I think we know that Usyk is pretty much, he's certified. He's come in at the exact same weight for the last 3 fights. So I'm going to predict 222. I think he's going to be like a half a pound more than he was in the last fight when he was 221. So I think Usyk's going to be about 222. And I think Fury's going to be about, I think he's going to be 261. That's my prediction. I think Tyson Fury is going to be about 261 pounds, and I think this is going to be about 222 pounds. Jam down. Fury's stamina has been atrocious since the second Wilder fight. His activity in fights has been low. The shock of having to up his work rate for 12 rounds is going to be too much. Interesting point. I could see that. Fury looks like 250 to me. You know what? If he's 250 pounds, I think he's playing into Usyk's hands. If his dad moaned at him before for being too light in the Valine fight, and he's as weak as the kitten when he's that light, unless you're just planning for him to literally hit and run for the entire 12 rounds, he's not going to be able to put a dent in Usyk. If he, because if he was around that weight when he fought Valine and couldn't, didn't even really hurt Valine, to be honest, in the entire fight. So I would expect the 260s is where he usually has campaigned at his best. Like the early 260s. So that's what I would expect. Anything lower than that, I think it'll be an issue. Philip, you know what would make the Fury Usyk undercard more interesting? Is if they had Joe Egan take on John Fury's a man his own size and a real fighting man. Yeah. Michael Januario, Usyk might be 37, but he's a professional and always in shape. Like Mayweather, better be never drinking drugs or smoking. Again, very true. Dr. Woodok, Usyk has been training for big guys for decades. He gave Vlad the business in training camps. Yeah, I remember. I think he actually got kicked out of the camp for styling on Vlad as much as he did. Chris C, I'll tell you what, by XRP, we will put it in an anonymous wallet and set it up so whoever wins, the password for the wallet will be sent to the winner automatically. Chris, you're doing too much, man. Just my cash app's right there. I'll call you Chrissy. Usyk might be 37, but he is the younger fighter because he lives cleaner than Fury. Well, you know what? What I will say in regards to that, Alcuya, he might be younger in age, like in terms of professional age, or maybe body condition, but he's had a lot more fights throughout his life than Fury has. I mean, I think Fury amateur and pro is probably sitting at about 55 fights right about now, whereas Usyk is coming up to nearly 400. What is he? He would be 372 come the weekend. So yeah, that's a lot of bouts, even if a lot of them are only just 3 rounders and 4 rounders. There was and some 5 rounders for the WSB as well. But yeah, Star Fox, how did we get onto crypto scams? Star Fox. Chances are the XRP in that wallet would be worthless by the time worthless come fight night. Double betting. Chris C. Alcuya, I like Usyk. I think he's a brilliant fighter, but the way he fights will not help him. If he fights like that for 8 to 12 rounds, he will begin to slow down, and that's when I think Fury wins. Okay. All right. Looks like we got someone's in the building. So what I'm going to do to give them the respect, I'm going to turn the music I'm gonna pause the music for the. Let's see who we got. Oh, you man are done for in the building. Hi, hold on. I definitely got to bring him in. You man, shut up. What you saying?
What's good, bro? How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm well. You don't often call into these shows, so it's a privilege to have you on here, not just trolling in the comments.
No. You know what it is like? I just feel like someone needs to back Fury in it. Like I don't know. Like it's our countryman at the end of the day. It's our countryman, bro. I just
Oh, you frozen? Uh-oh. Wait, is the Wi-Fi not Wi-Fi? Am I the only one that can't hear him? Oh, that was just getting good. Life of Butch says, no, this is definitely Chisora. I mean, it's funny because I was about to say he's your countryman, but you sound like you're from Zimbabwe. So, James, is he using the old Queensbury wife? Yo, are you still there? I was looking forward to this interaction, man. Yo, you back?
am I back now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. But yeah, I was saying like Fury is our countryman, man. We need to back him. We need to back him. Man.
Okay. I mean, but why are we backing him just because he's our countryman? I mean, shouldn't people have the right to back who they want? And maybe they don't want to back a quote unquote degenerate. Maybe they want to back someone that's shown nothing but professionalism in their entire career and has never had a controversy surrounding them.
No, but nobody's perfect, man. That's life. Nobody's perfect.
No, that's true. But we're talking about in the ring, we're talking about showing respect for the craft that you've been paid to to provide it. So, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I just feel like people have like a holier than thou like mentality. Like this whole respect thing. I don't know. I just see a lot of like hypocrisy in like what people are saying. Like
Okay.
I don't know. Do you know like AJ was like very disrespectful to Usyk after their second fight, but
Yeah.
they'll call him like a respectful like person and like things like that. So it's a lot of hypocrisy in that. So
Now, do
I
you know
don't
what?
really.
No, sorry, I agree
Yeah,
with
go
you.
ahead.
What I will say though is when he was disrespectful, everyone rightly pulled him up on it, but because he
Mm,
doesn't have a history of it and the history of that, they looked at it as an isolated incident. So
mm,
sometimes, while I admit that not everyone is perfect all the time, but if you've got someone that's maybe made a mistake once, going up against maybe someone that's made the mistake 7 or 8 times, where you say to yourself, well, this person, and I'm not talking about Fury, I'm just using it as an example, but you say at least, okay, this person has a habit and has a history and has a penchant for being this way, whereas this one,
mm.
okay, like I don't like that you've done that, so you're gonna have to get admonished, but it's not the same. It's the same as like if someone that's a repeat offender getting to jail, they're gonna get a harsher
Yeah.
sentence than someone it's their first offense.
Uh, no, I agree with you, but then again, why is Mike Tyson so beloved?
Good point. You
Like
know what? I
he's
think it's because Mike
he's
Tyson he turned his life around afterwards. Because if you remember when he was actually boxing, he wasn't so much beloved, but it was because he did all the right stuff in the ring. I think the problem with Tyson Fury is that he doesn't take the same challenges or he doesn't do the same things in the ring that Mike Tyson did. So when people don't excuse what he was doing outside, but he made up for it in how active he was and how much he was, in the ring doing X, Y, and Z. Whereas with Tyson, you can't really get past a lot of the stuff that he does outside the ring because he's not in the ring enough for you to really for it to almost like get changed and play out of your mind, if that makes sense.
but
But
that's that's that's
it's
that's
a
that.
very good point that you made.
No, but it's like because to me it's confusing. Like it's like saying, okay, Mike Tyson is allowed to say, okay, I'm gonna eat people's children, but as long as it takes the right challenges in the ring, like we're okay with it. Like I don't know.
But again,
It's
I
a
don't
weird
think
one to
anyone ever condoned what he said. I think everyone
do.
rightfully admonished him at the time, and they still, obviously, they're not going to bring it up now because it was over 20 years ago. But they
Yeah.
would, they do still, everyone said no, it was, it's disgraceful what he's saying,
Mm.
etc. But when you give other people something to, almost, if you give people something to make them forget about what you did previously,
Yeah.
that's what he did, and that's what's, that's the kind of thing. If you're gonna be one of those guys that is a quote unquote a screw up, because Tyson was a
Yeah.
screw up, Tyson Fury is a
Yeah.
screw up, and there's others. Like, the least you can do is give people a reason to not talk about your screw ups on a consistent basis, and that's how I think is the difference between those two.
Now that's fair. That's fair. But I just feel like if we're looking at it like, okay, because let's be honest, like Deontay Wilder, people were scared of him for a while, and like he went up there and fought him 3 times, and then now he's gonna fight like Usyk. Is like he's fought like one of the scariest guy in the division, and now he's fighting like one of the greatest guy in this era. Like if he beats him, then I think people are still gonna be like, he still hasn't done enough. But even though that he's done all of this, like I don't know.
I mean, you know what the thing is, I partially agree because I said the same thing. I feel like he needs to do more because he hasn't done enough throughout the entire career. But the
Yeah,
Deontay Wilder thing doesn't stack up because he may have been one of the most feared punchers, but people weren't scared to fight him. There was people actively calling him out, and he was turning down challenges. Remember the Alexander Povetkin, that whole situation before they even found out the situation with the Osterine, and the Nandrol, not the Nandrolone. It wasn't Osterine. It was I can't remember the name of the drug now. There was before the Osterine, there was another issue that he had, and before he even waited to find out the WBC's finding, he jetted from the UK back to America, said he's refusing to fight him. He turned down, he didn't want to fight Dillian White. Remember, sent in DM saying, I don't have to fight you for 3 years. I'll just wait it out. That we all know what happened with the Anthony Joshua stuff back and forth. So, like,
yeah.
there was a lot of people that wanted to fight Wilder, but I will agree that obviously he had a reputation as that big puncher, and Fury did take to that challenge. So I will definitely give you that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So how do you think like the refereeing in Saudi has been like so far? Do you think it's been fair?
Yeah, I haven't had an issue with any bout that I've seen since when was the first one? The first one was Fury and Ngannou, which I never actually watched, but I did see the undercard. I haven't had any issues with any of the refereeing decisions. I don't think anyone has been cheated or robbed of decisions as of yet. So long may that continue. I know there's been a couple of decisions that the public have not liked and felt were
Yeah.
robberies, like the Nick Ball one, for instance. But I actually agreed. I had it a draw myself. So yeah, thus far I haven't got issue with that. It will be interesting to see. We've got two. I think it's what you got I think you got a Panamanian, a Canadian, and an American judge for the heavyweight final, and obviously an
Yeah.
American referee. So all neutral officials. But do we say, okay, is there potential that someone can be swayed for the right cash? Because it does look like there is a concerted effort to give a lot of quote unquote advantages to Tyson Fury in this. Just from the outside looking in, obviously, even the way that Kirky Al Sheikh speaks about obviously wanting to do the Tyson and the AJ fight next year. I don't think he's not saying win, lose, or draw. He's saying he's looking to do that fight. So his amount of times he said, "Look, Tyson is my guy," and etc. etc. So I don't know. It just feels as if there could. I'm not saying there's going to be greasing
Mhm.
of the palms, but there definitely could be some influence for those people to maybe see certain things in a different light come fight night. So yeah, it'd be interesting, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna go that far. I think there's going to be a conclusive winner either way or the other. If I'm honest with you, that's how I see it.
So like if when Fury wins,
Oh, Wi-Fi's gone again. I don't think it liked the take he was about to give me. Say it again. It's like you're back.
yeah,
Oh,
can
you're
you hear me
back.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying like so when Fury wins, like it's not gonna be because of the judges or the referee or anything. It's just gonna be because Usyk lost like straight up.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think whoever wins this fight is going to win it conclusively. Um, and
Yeah.
I guess that basically means that they're either going to get stopped or they're going to get battered, like with no sort of a rhyme or reason. I don't think it's going to be a case of it was close. I think that it's going to take a clear set of beating for several rounds to make it clear that they lost. That's how I see it going.
Yeah, I think so too. But I just trust Fury to come in with the rate like the right strategy. That's how because he does come in with like the right, especially when like big fights. He comes in with the right strategy.
Okay.
So
But let me ask you this question.
yeah.
Would you subscribe to the notion, because I've made this comment before and some people have actually agreed with it, because a lot of people say that Tyson Fury fights down to the level of his competition, right? And then as soon as he has to fight someone better, he raises his game. But I made the assertion that if you fight down to the level of your competition enough, sometimes you can't raise it to the level it needs to be because you're not used to it. Like it's almost like a foreign nature. It's like when you don't use a blade for that long and it becomes dull and you can't sharpen it to the point of how it used to cut because it's just not being it hasn't been used in the right way or maintained in the right way. What would you say to something like that?
I would agree with you, but Tyson's been fighting since he was like 3 years old. That's the difference between if you're saying that about somebody like AJ who started boxing later, I would say yeah, that would be the case. But for somebody who's been fighting since like they were a kid, I don't think that would be like because it's in his bones to like step up his blood pumps up faster when he's like fighting like better guys. So yeah, I would
Okay.
say for him it's different. For him it's different.
Okay, so how
Like,
come and it's interesting, obviously you're back in Fury, which is good. I like to
yeah.
get these perspectives. What do you think is the reason that since that third Wilder fight, which he didn't actually want to take to begin with, but since that fight, obviously we had the Dillian White fight. Obviously, I'm not going to shy away from it. I picked Dillian to win. 2 years prior to that, I would have picked Dillian to win. He clearly was a bit of a shell of himself. But since even say the Dillian White win, which he had to do, he had to take that fight. His choice of opposition has very much been easy touch after easy touch. That's been his mantra. Now, why do you think he has not looked to actually take on someone, maybe more in their prime, actually maybe not prime, but someone that's a bit more closer to their prime, or at least closer to him in skill level, as opposed to a Derek Chisora and then a Francis Ngannou who had never had a professional boxing fight before coming into this fight, which is arguably going to be the hardest fight of his career. What do you reckon?
but like who would you say though? Like who?
Well, I mean, at the time, you could have. All right, so if we swapped out, let's take Derek Chisora out there. So if you take out Derek
Yeah,
Chisora, you had. I mean, we seen what Ajit Caballero did to Makhmudov. That was a fight that was supposed to happen between them
yeah.
two before. There's Caballero. There's obviously Sanchez who's about to fight now. Um, Even someone say like an F.A. Ajagba who may not be of the right level. He may not be at his level, but he's a younger, fresher guy as opposed to an old warhorse like Derek Chisora, who was only really going to have the energy to do anything for maybe the first 2 rounds and then kind of survive afterwards. Or even a Hergovich, or what I'm saying, like there's a lot of these guys who are in and around that ascendancy that you could have fought, and maybe even a rematch with Otto Wallin to clean up the controversy from the first fight. These are all like interesting fights that I think would have been better preparation for like maybe an undisputed fight than Derek Chisora for a third time and Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, but here's the issue though. Like, uh, here's the issue. Like, because like boxing is about money as well, and like they want like big names like for some of these fights. So it's one of them things. Like, is he gonna? Are those guys gonna accept like a 20% purse or whatever? Um, to like fight Fury like now. It's like I don't know, like it's one of those things like their names might not be big enough to fight Fury and they might not accept the Fury. It's similar to the Buatsi thing now. Like Buatsi was like to Bivol, like I'm not gonna accept like, the small money that I'm gonna give, like they were offering Buatsi is like those guys, though, even though they're dangerous, sometimes they don't even accept the small money to like come up.
Yeah, but
So
Otto Wallin, that would have sold because there's already a backstory there, and a lot of people say that he should have won the first fight because it should have been stopped on that cut. So that would have
mm,
sold, and people knew his name. So even if you take out the Sanchez and the Ajit Caballeros and all of them, the Wallin
yeah.
fight was that was a credible fight because it's cleaning up old work.
See, I think people they don't like Fury enough to say. I don't think that would have even people would have even respected that. Like people would be saying, "Oh, he's already fought Wally and then he's already beat him." So it's one of those things. Like if you don't like Fury, regardless of whatever he does, like people are not going to respect it either way. So you might as well give Jerick Chisora like his retirement person that. So it's like
Okay.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like it depends on whether you like Fury or not, basically.
Okay.
It really does like because my opinion, yeah, is like the reason why I respected Dillian so much is because he cleaned out the division. And like, but the issue is the guys at the top who they were not fighting all those guys like all the Rivas's and all those guys, those dangerous guys. Like Dylan is the one that cleaned them all out.
Yeah.
So it's like you could say the same thing to like Wilder. You can say well AJ fair enough. He did fight Park and all those guys. But like all those dangerous guys that Dylan would fight, and you could have said to like Wilder and AJ, why didn't you guys fight this guy like this like Rivas's and all those guys? It's like
That's
you
fair.
could say the same thing to any champion in any period. It's like there's always somebody, and Dylan was that guy for this era. He cleaned out the division for everyone else, so everyone else doesn't have to.
So Dillian was the Ernie Shavers of this area. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I feel bad for him because I feel like he didn't get like his money and he didn't get like his belt. So it's like I think he's like a I don't martyr might be like a terrible word to use, but he got the wrong end of the stick in this era basically.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
No, it's a very fair take. Very fair take.
Yeah.
Listen, you man, shout out to you. Thank you very much for jumping on. I'm gonna shut down the stream in a few moments. Have you got any last words you want to say? Before I let you go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say all hail to the Gypsy King, and I acknowledge my tribal chief, John Fury. Thank you very much.
All right, later on. Oh, yeah, you man are done for. Really, you know what? Can't even fault him. I respect it. Right, I'm gonna read some of these last comments, and then then we're gonna be out. All right, let's see. That I saw from Yasmin. All right, forget all of that. Back our countrymen. Fuck that. This is an international sport. Salute. Budge. Toots. Shout out. Campbell Hatton versus Neuer. Anyway, who wins? Yeah. So. Okay, I'm gonna leave you two to have this conversation. Time has passed. He's been retired for over 15 years. Listen, we just don't like Fury. It is what it is. Toots, Beterbiev versus Tommy Fury. Who wins? I think it's 50-50 fight, but I think Beterbiev is good enough to win split decision. All right, let the trolling commence. Jammed down. Mike Tyson was a freak of nature that people wanted to see. Then he lost favor with the Robin Givens situation only after a time and opening up as Mike found favor again. Yeah, that's part of what I was saying as well. And obviously, because he was giving people a reason to look past certain actions at the time. Chris C, I'm praying Mike Tyson doesn't lose against Jake Paul, but I think Jake Paul fights are scripted and Tyson will lose, or it will be a draw. I could see it being a draw. Wilder in your estimation. Fury is not a good representation of boxing. I will not be backing him. I hear that. Wilder is only scary because he has metal pins in his hand. There's that too. Nobody was scared of Wilder. Stop this media. Yeah. Alright, is this guy going to compare AJ? Right, let's be honest. Mike Tyson has said some mad shit. YouTube it. The man is right. It's hypocrisy. They're not like Fury because of certain things, but like Tyson. Okay, well, I did address that, so hopefully you don't mind. Same thing the media is doing with Fury now. Brent Hernandez, shout out to you. Fury is scared and he's not 6'9". Okay, is this guy going to compare one mistake by AJ to countless nonsense we have to put up with from Fury and his family? Okay, so I addressed that as well. Damn down, Usyk has never shown me that he allows fighters to lean on him throughout his career, so I can't see him being stationary enough to allow Fury to lean on him in this fight. Okay, cool. Mike Tyson said a lot of mad shit and got sent down for rape. Fury has mental health problems and his dad obviously has problems, but never been sent down for rape or racism. Well, you might say that, but it's not that John Fury he's been in prison. Like, the majority of the Fury clan have been in prison, so whether it was because of rape or racism, that's prison is prison, right? Like for Butch, better guy, all I'll see is blood. Big names like Schwartz, Varlin, etc. Fury took Peds versus Mike's jail visit. Both are criminals in my honest opinion. Only one doesn't involve jail time. Bro, he fought Chisora 3 times, beat him 3 times, allow it. But didn't Frank say that before Fury is a global star and can sell out anywhere? So why does it matter if it's a big name? I mean, yeah, that's a very good point there, Philip. Where is Reed Vass and Lucas Brown now? Come on, bro. I wish you had been more savage like Ring IQ in this call. Way too. No. Me and you mans are cool. He's cool. Like, I know and I understand his point of view, and there's no reason for me to be quote unquote savage or like disrespectful to a man like you, man, are done for. We respect his takes because they're always hilarious. And to be honest, because he's the kind of person that can cook you. He can cook you quite easily on a call. Like he's very quick-witted when he wants to be. Shout out to Smallsy. Late but here. Appreciate it. Fury is genuinely nervous, but then again, I think he's always nervous going into his fights. He usually doesn't settle in for a couple of rounds. Sounds fair. Fury said mad racist things. Yeah, I've seen that. Right, I think that's all the comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the dialogue. It's been a really, really fun episode. Shout out to you, man, done for and his Fury nonsense, but I respect it. As you guys can see it down below, the Cash App is there if you guys ever want to contribute that way. If not, just Base the Kid, Hardcore Casual, Twittex, B_S_E, or just type in Base the Kid. Instagram and Threads, Base the Kid. I'm trying to get my Base the Kid, the Hardcore Casual Instagram account linked to my account. It's still not working, but I will get that out there soon enough. And yeah, we'll sort out the TikTok next month. There is an announcement I need to make. So basically, long story short, I am gonna be starting a new job in a few weeks' time, but unfortunately this job is going to be back in the office 5 days a week, with very little time to do any of the outside stuff. So all of the, you know, like the interviews, the base talks and stuff, unless I get a couple Zooms in over the weekend and that, we're probably not going to get any of those. Some of the actual content itself and the regularity of it might drop down a bit, because I'm just not going to physically be home and be able to do it, unfortunately. But yeah, as and when I can, if it's a big enough event, I'll always try and take some time off, and you know, we'll cram as much as we can, and we'll just sort of do more that way. The channel will run as normal, but yeah, all the extra stuff that you guys have been getting as of late, I'm probably not going to be able to do it. So I want to give that apology from now. To be honest, there was 2 jobs I was going for. I didn't get the other one, which gave me more flexibility, but this one actually kind of gave me a bit more purpose. So they were both good. One just had a lot more flexibility. This one just doesn't have it. So yeah, unfortunately, because of that, the channel, some of the activity might slow down. But with that being said, it won't stop. We can't stop. The community is here and it's growing. So shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who is obviously tuned in. Memberships, obviously think about memberships. I'll try and get more members only content done now, because we won't have a lot more of the other stuff coming in and out. But yeah, for that being said, thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. Stay safe, have a great night, enjoy the rest of it, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, peace.
Maybe I'ma make it, maybe I'm not. In time we'll see. But who better than me? I don't care if you agree. I ain't saying that I'm better than anyone, but who better?